Ik eia joch sa tini sta kat Johan. Ach tu ik e joch sa tini. Achan kanani kwal qonne khat in naltikli. Ya khat naltik. Ya awa hayu qatangi takhonach ik e. Ya ach tu asgu. Shukwa aya tasayu qatangi atkhachtu la yechi. Kwal kagachtu ak. Iin kachwani ku shukwa ayi. Kwal kleinach kwal dachnach Johan. Qonne aya yejik qonne shukwa. Ye awa yejine jas ha iti dishi. Khosatin aya Hawaii. Ade qai has altuye. Shukwa aya we Hawaii. Ya atnasquini. Qonne ay yuqiwatan shukwa. Hastu ina kawanik. Wasat wasak yadis. Kunyaki sawaya wahi yadis. Dak yaki sawaya yaki. Wasakuati. Datech saway we dis. Wasa yage. Galtis shuwu yis disi. Is plain. Aka away. Has qonne ayash tu has altun. Ye awa yechwaji. Uhan su qonne yegach sene. Wait ayach. Dataya yuqagach tu laat. Shukwaya ha ide kakkinik. Aka ide gach tu dashi. Wuch in. Atch sayach aya ha yuqatangi. Aka shilsidain aya qonne yuqakitan. Ye awa khan hasakawanik hajagu khaku. Hajaguta. Shukat ku yuqatang ku atlatu. Ajoyach tu asaku kagach tu ak. Ya yagi adusa shukwa ai. Well, wege kachtzin.
Achtuasigu Tlingit has to use Keishísh to cut at everything we use.
Okay.
Shakiat ya. Plus shakate. Shakiat ya. Kachu tan Tashkwasiku whiskers.
Khadet zai.
At Zai Keishísh.
Ajoy kaututli wash. Yata akak. Whoosh.
Rose away.
Oh, khataka. Chakukte.
Oh. To Wutsaka Ka aya Kachu Sha away. Wouldn't stomp it.
Ah. Yeah.
That's quite cool important.
Wujach yadal. We ka shawat hakustiyitin. Wasa yitu wuch ko agwashi satini. eh.
Ooh. What's that?
Iyo etati tan wasa an yuqatitli atk wait wait saqa.
Not loud enough.
Wutsaqaya. Kwandach.
Ja dayach adusa kindituqin kuxati.
We.
Wait dayach you
Wouldn't stomp it. Saya. Hashkwasa Kash Oos. Yai. Hashkwasa. Keishísh Dachtsu.
Keishísh okay.
To cut all these objects. Tlingit Keishísh Dach.
Okay. We chuts chakut atsu asai Tlingit crabapple tree. Chus.
We.
Majowe chus aya talk atlen chat gwalli aya chus tin with dulyeix majowe chus I do a sock. Okay.
Takwan Dach Klash Keishísh Takwan Yik. Just crabapple cut duck.
Yeah, away. Atlen aya would lock cluck on we Emmons. We shook what's that do a sock? Cut say a she let's say. Map, you say cookie? What's that do a sock?
Oh.
Curtish hit away, Nakishan. We skalsnik dach cock a cook skalsniki dach aya.
Kachachkuk. Dika Kwan Dach, yeah.
A cockashy I did. It's like cat say what cooks let's say.
To Saksaya. De Yikya Saks. Dulyegi Duiti de Shay. The hunter. Help the hunter.
Okay. When qanins aya we asai qudzati jishagun kach saks ka duk ka quds to asai awe saks aya you awe tlet kach inach you awe we as saks aya do sakling git inach qatu as goon aya saks in we saks outleyechen.
To Saks Ka Keishísh Ka Duk. Kash Duk Saks Ka Keishísh. Saks Dach. To Keishísh Ka Saks Letzin away. Kash Letzin Duk. One of these.
Wasa ikuge weta we akai. It like a ruler. Wasa ikuge.
Keijin Kus.
Oh, okay. Keijin kusaya yikligat. Okay. Joy a kaya titsa. Lakuzi.
To Chakuch ka deyi guslate. Keishísh ka Kai to Sak again. Ribs, like kak enach ribs.
Oh. Soup.
Tsuk. Yeah, wait, tsuk. To Chakuch tsuk Keishísh tach. Tlingit ani yik anyway.
Yik A. It's ekta.
We. Roots, yeah. 2 centimeters, yeah.
Oh, yik A.
Roots.
Usk. Pir adachega.
What's that?
Pir adachega.
We.
Yik A. Sa awakadua chak.
We. Hashwasa yeast tan again. Hashwasiku.
Oh.
What it is? Tan away.
Oh. How? Well, each a kakaga.
Oh, each.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Nee.
Ah.
Gedij gewoon Kirch kwan we do za te kuk
Oh, yeah. Oh,
gwallie za gwedi
yeah. Oh,
gwallie.
Sheesh.
Hashwasiku to say Hashwataka now yachaya. To ichtka nox ati to gis noch or clash knock clicky yeah.
How? Yeah. Oh, what too? Kush the sha. Yeah. Get a kaye. Yeah. We icht. Kush the een. You has kaul atkin. You has kaul aden. Ja, kush the aya konache has aus a ku. Nak dat ka atlein atawa has aus a ku. Keltis ach a kawa heitli at aya. Gwe kush da. Ka it would the sheen. Ka it the she. Ja, yidat. A jawe aya. A kach aya has the ai. A icht jishakuni. Yewe khaji. Keishísh aya yik
We Keishísh to ka to usiate to Kaisan Kaistin Kashkutia Kaistin just kat kwandach the pole. I would jock Tlingit when Kaistin when he seen Tlingit he would kill him.
Oh, how?
He was holding one of these.
A dusa geistin.
wrangle catch kind of out.
Chusach Qanaqa, Gaisteen, Adusa.
I don't know where it's at.
Mm.
Oh, right here. He's 10. Kejin Kus Paul as well.
Huh. Cajun Chusik Kliat.
Kush Yashiyat. He's 10 dulyeix.
Oh, Ka again. Ka was a teen again, Quashkunate.
What's that?
Hach was a tea again. Ka Hayach again, Gaisteen.
Like
Nate again.
he lived in the sky.
Oh, how?
Just cut corn ka Takwan Dach Takwan.
Kusach
Emin.
Kusach Quanchage was a teen.
Wait.
Get Klainach Tlak on Kuchanakawanik. This up.
Froze up on my side.
Ishan Khat. Tlat Khatsu wa art tse. Ishan.
What's that?
Klainach Tlak on Kuchanakawanik. Kusach Kwan Saich was a teen. Has the Gatsi Ka Aya Katuchakan. A ka away to Khait Aya Geo has a sak echi. Kashkwan Hat Kikai Kawe. Yewe Kwashi Awakayan. Chak.
The Kaja.
Oh, Tashwit. Oh, okay. Ich was doing to Uxiyeta where would la Aachen. Tashwit is a teeny that Koa. The eye.
This was a Kahartin Huna. This was a Kuhuna Kawuyik.
So can voice.
Kahartin.
Screen share kana ak. Tashwit is a teen.
Oh.
Keishísh.
Keishísh.
Ukecha konach atlein Keishísh. Wait, ayach. Okay, Johan. Keishísh. Wasa yitu yeti.
Achtzehn. Daya Juanlain Kachanaktach. Yahaye Gunalchish. Tlakudzi way. Artifacts away. Gunalchish. achtuasigu Tlatin way artifacts. Keishísh.
Okay. That was great. So again, we'll see how long I can go till I freeze. I don't know what's the deal is with my internet, but that's what I was looking for, so really just sort of starting off the class with just leading us through a discussion and then try and think of things to say. I know that these are our challenges as language learners, is to use the language, but just asking questions, talking, just, and so it was interesting. We were talking the other day about just doing this group in Tesla, they're going to get ready to do some work this summer, and I think we're going to have them work on just some basics of conversations, like how do we do conversation, right? It's such a big thing that we work on. But just even sort of saying, oh yeah, I was wondering about that. I agree, I disagree. You know what that reminds me of? And just all these different things, like linking one thought to another and trying to make language a bit less of a performance and more of just sort of a thing, So yeah, any thoughts, questions, ideas?
Kakchin. Yakushta at na Tlaika kinach octopus akwe.
we. Now Tligi, the fingers, the tentacles. Tligi.
Nachteki, Kadakasa.
Ka daswe Keishísh. Tlaika kinach spruce akwe.
Clay.
There.
Keishísh is alder.
Keishísh alder.
Sati at Tlingit. It was important to us, and I just wanted to share some of the things that were made out of it that we use.
Ka Cajun Cruz. Tlaika kinach 5 feet long.
5 feet tall.
Yeah, Tlaika kinach flute.
Probably about a foot, I think.
She goes straight for the water.
Sha. Mouth open. Kate. Tlaika kinach open ka. Yeah, sat. Not right. She
Satna.
satnach away. Kate closed. What is it for? Das away. Way at ga. What is it for, that thing?
So Wutsaga we.
Cajun Cruz.
Oh.
Yeah.
Case 10 again.
Deksha.
Kashawat.
Click.
Click ka click shawat.
Oh.
Gwell you
Yeah.
Click. two heads, one mouth open, one mouth shut, hair on it.
Sucks away.
Ah,
Kachu Heshklasiku Kudachsoe sucks. Do ya ye or do yegi do iti de she, they would help the hunter. It wouldn't be for dancing, it would be what helps the hunter. I think this dulyeix or the spirit of these two faces help that hunter. I think.
Tlingit kainach charm akwe.
Click sucks. This one's 5 feet,
Ah,
and then 5 feet long. You can see the top right here.
how is it used?
Like
How?
sucks a bow and arrow.
Keishísh.
Oh, Keishísh.
We us das way us sucks ka.
Keishísh ka sucks. Tlingit ka keinach Keishísh alder. Tlingit ka keinach sucks is you would. To cut us away. Kleshlit scene. The other wood isn't strong, like Keishísh or sucks, or kusage, crabapple.
Kunak fit way sucks. You would, you us akwe.
We.
Kudaksawe sucks.
Heshklasiku Smithsonian Natural History Museum in DC. Ye Yasika Tlingit Anitach. If I were to guess, though, northern style, the way these are made, a lot more detailed than further south is less detail. Or see how it dives in the eye, and then it's carved out and around the eyebrow, and then even the nose and around the Tlingit. It's carved out. Further south, they don't do that. Kachua, Kush, Techia, Techia Tinga.
Class screen share you did ha. Just yeah.
Just me looking real hard. Techia, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Do the detail, especially right here, is a northern, like Kachkana Auk Naki. Has this kind of detail. Further south, they don't. Further south than Kachkana Auk.
Ha, Shakutsi. Usk.
It's
Ain't cut do a talk. Ewa chunate. A kajuk tawu tin with the lechin.
What's that?
Ewa chunate. Saks kachunate. With chunate awa kajuk tawu tin with the lechin. Yisikuge kajuk. gwell shayal tsu. Tsatsi aya yisikuge dak tsatsi so e koa.
Ah, oui.
Gejuk ka shayal. Ye owa.
Or golden eagle.
Shukwa we hawk.
Mm.
Has to tau aya konach has to tuasagun tag. Aka awi chunit dilli konach get the tune. Yasatki gwell achaway. Shayal kakejuk has to tau. Has to tuasagu with chunit yes. Ye away yana 8. Saksi do a sakwe bow. Chunate do a sakwe arrow. Saks ka chunate ye away. Take a kutsati ye away. Gosh, Atlain atawa tau. Ka awa hoon se wan kanins wish to say ya wasa do a saku. Kat se wak akdesai. Clock on kanakte di shata honey. Howe ka Emmons ausatin. Emmons, Rewaus, Yisikuke ade katishhitie, we map. Emmons Quatletina ha oti, ha ani utusaku, ye away yachwaji. Gwash ya ye ani koash the cut with katki, achtuasaku to hosaku. Kunshatsa kutzati awa weka. The sigh awa kutchakishan. Gwash. Nask gwell chwnoe to shatko Chnachoe has ausaku. Ya has the ani. Has a kaushahit with shukwa. Tlingit map. Ye awe wait the cut we heen. A kachoe has a kaushahit. Kakachus dei. Ye awe kadeen has a kaushahit. Wish to say khanaya. Kaika. Do yaku dach aya. Emmons yaku. Kaika a dach away. Wish to say khenchusati weka. Ye has ausene.
Actuasigu we shaki at Kwasatin. Wait, the first one, click the first picture of the shakiat. Waitan shakiat.
Like, Heshkasiku,
Ah,
I think, was Shakiat, Buenos Aires Museum de 1954.
okay.
Katu, it may be gone now because it burned up the museum.
Ishan.
They might have it back, but could be gone forever. Heskasiku, Daksoe, Shakudzioe to the hat part where it sits on your head.
Ah,
Here, it's carved in there. I don't never seen that.
at first I didn't know what the perspective was, but way Tan things are shakiat ka.
Oh, like this.
Khadzai.
Ah, Keishísh. Huh.
Question. We Keishísh dot in Kakhnik gwelye.
Wasa? Cut out a little on mine.
Chatage.
Froze when you started talking on my screen.
Oh, Chatage, we a good we Keishísh adat in Kachanik. I'll just screen share. Isitingi.
Ah,
So Chat dus huguye. Gadusta du Chat dus huguye de hin shak hinik ade natu ach awe tlak at ata disi kiwa ayi. Kat hat to hash niche. Aga away we hat to sahuk niche Keishísh tin. We do we Keishísh. Hoot.
Keishísh.
Nashish.
Kleid yachiti age we atlu ka sheikh tsekhutzeti. Sheikh wan kanins katu asagutsu. Ya hastu gosh khata yakone aya hasakhan. Sheikh hastu twasagu akho Keishísh akho aduk. Yewe wan kanins chakutyete awe katun detani adat. Khataya jilqat kwan kalqut kwan. Duk aya hatuasagu atkan hiti yih. Akha chakuta hastituasagu gol Keishísh gol sheikh ye awa ka gol chakuta tsu hechasaku nik echa.
Just dulyeix too. Kautusha serk Keishísh team.
Oh yik eh.
Eska too.
Cleidahin awa yisaku akha a Johann Henry. Tlaus tla chuch aya. Skalnik aya chan skautlenik. Ye awe zisk tli awe wuchuk. Gol just du neili yiti. Gol seik hiti adach aga stuch a kanach aya a shayausati. A kakone aya wuchuk. Just has dituasagu watchman. Ginjichuan yu katangi aya Mount Yidu sago Ye awe ka chuch aya wugut. Hetwasa geyi uti. Ach tuasagu yichawa wusi. Ye awe just tulla an tin. Jagut ka hiti de. Chawa ki kach awe a kawa gwash. Kuch. Hey de shu watan hu. We ka. Watchman. Ach tuasagu just chasaku hetwasa geiti. Hetwasa hua oti. Oh. Dasa chwasanik. Let's wait, this clear we chochuk. Itu agasagu ichai. Watchman. Kunacha we. Kadena wacha. Which a good hiti de. Nia hiti de wu good. We nia hiti aya was. Kutachsa ye tlak. Wait, this clear hook. Which a good Indian aya we kaya ye uti. Shishuko ate kunacha Frenchman chsati awe Henry. Au shakuko ate to huku ye ziskli. Yak Johan. Kausagu.
Chatsu, og daka ku'u kachat Wilson Bay de Daisleen ai kach wutu kuchen ka dulyeix ga au autodzit ka dulyeix wutusi hook Keishísh tin ka sheok tin so is
Okay, Keishísh. Yeah, well. Atlein at an dulyeix awe Keishísh. Kadu chago at ditsegi at yeah, well, okay. Wukecha, Johan, wuke. Kwalka kwa ak, yi ika kwasha tu. Echwasaku kwashak kwatlak. If I freeze, somebody just take over. I don't know. Or just talk about something for a minute. It usually comes back pretty fast. I've been trying to move my routers around, everything. I don't know.
Wanéiyi.
That's a
Dasa walkway?
Keishísh, like a path.
Okay.
Yeah, that first map that they did. I want to say, I'm forgetting his name now. It was Klux was pretty far from what his name was, but now I can't. I'll have to ask Kuch. He'll remember. He knows. Okay, so let's try this out. Any other questions, reflections on the discussion?
That path, is that up past, like up towards the interior?
What I was saying was like when Emmons was up there meeting with that Qanahtidi leader, and they started talking, and I'm sure that he was asking for a map. And the way I imagine it, they would be like, "We don't need a map. We know the whole land." But then he was saying, "Well, I wanted a map of this area," so they traded. He took something off his boat. I can't remember what it was, but then he traded that for a map, and so that leader, he had his wives draw it. I don't know how many wives he had, but they knew the land really well, and so they drew like every river and every path between Klukwan and Klukshu, I think it was, in between those two areas. And that was the first map ever probably drawn by Tlingit, and so they traded, and so yeah, they put every let's try to say every path. So Keishísh would be like a footpath, but I was just thinking like every path that they regularly walked. Especially if you need to differentiate between like a walking path and a driving path nowadays. I say date lane for like a highway or something.
And didn't they also put in like how long it would take to get from one place to the other? That was more important than a distance per se, but it was like, this is going to take you a day.
Yeah, which is really interesting. I was reading about these languages in like, what's going on in Nepal, and they would include changes in altitude as well in their language when they talk about distance. And other places would say, yeah, it's about exertion, like how long it takes you to get there, which is really amazing. Okay. Yeah, so you could say something chus, and then you could say yekuat would be it's that long, and yekshiyat would be it's that tall. So the L classifier is usually tall or like how big a living thing is. Huh.
Wanéiyi.
Ah.
When you were speaking, I thought you were saying something about Henry was a Frenchman and he was drying moose meat, or there was dried moose meat. I was trying to understand what you were saying, but nobody said anything.
Let me translate that one, sorry. So Ida Kelmegan, her husband he's a Frenchman, and he's French Canadian, and he's an elderly guy. He's real fun. And years ago, I was visiting with him, and he said he was drying moose meat, and he brought it in to finish drying over the stove, and the police there, they were just going door to door, just doing wellness checks and saying hi and being nice. And came and knocked on his door, and it's like, hey, just making sure everybody's okay. He's like, yeah, we're fine. And he says, what smells so good? And he's like, oh, I'm finishing this moose meat. And so he gave it to him, and he's like, you want some? He's like, yeah. So he's chewing on it, and he goes to the next house, and he's chewing on this moose meat. And they're like, hey, where'd you get the dried moose meat? And he's like, oh, from this old Indian next door. Which Henry thought was funny because he's not Tlingit at all. He's, so he really got a kick out of telling me that story. He's got a real thick, like, French accent too, so I thought it was hilarious. But he must know his stuff then, right? Okay, that was great. So yeah, I'm not trying to put any pressure on anybody. Just sort of, let's think about the schools in Hawaii and how the students, they all take turns just sort of starting the class. So however, your job is just to start the class. That's all. Just lead us in a discussion. If you want to talk about whatever. They have a pretty regimented way of doing things, and I kind of don't. Like sometimes I'll start something and then I'll forget. But now I'll leave it up to you folks. Okay. Good. That's Keishísh. Okay.
Actuasagu, Kakwarus, yes, Tuch Tla, we Yahayi Dat, Akwe, Kings,
King salmon.
Khan, Kunuk, Shaklage, wait, Kwa, we Hindach, Wasadu Sak, we Hindach, wait, what river name?
Oh, Hinshak, Hini, Deslin Hini. You have to go by boat. So it's the river that goes out of Teslin Lake.
Wasadu Sak, way this, this, what month?
At Kata, just see, Su, Sach, Disi. It's August, but there's a separate, it could be called two things. And the other name is after groundhogs. So.
How heavy average weight? Kwasaku, like kinach weight.
Wasachadash.
Gwash, 10 pounds up to 80.
I was thinking about that today. A dashi would be the weight. So you could say, Klekha awe, yeah, awe a dashi. So you could say, it's 20. That's what its weight is. And that would be pounds, though. I don't know how.
Staga, 80 pounds. 8 akwe. Are they yummy?
Kunach.
Kunach ichi. Kunach ich. yek. Gonna cheese, yes, tooch tla.
Gonna sneeze.
Okay. Okay. Ha. Okay, we'll try this out. This is the last one, so if I freeze, then it's just on to you guys to solve for X. So here's the last sort of bunch that we look at. So again, like here's the things we look for. Is there an object? Yes. So you're going to get for the third person in both cases. What's going on with the classifier? These are plus D. That means there's no vowel. A plus D vowel or a plus D classifier that's non-zero will not have a vowel. It'll just be the letter S. Okay? So that means it has to be kakwas. Kakwas. It has to be for that third person. They'll both be long and high, and they are. This one is qa, so we have to have ye before the verb. This one's 0, so there's nothing before the verb. But if we look at them and we go through, ye kakosqach, ye gachtusqach, ye kakisqach, ye gachisqach, ye akqasqach, yes akqasqach, ye gachtusqach. And if we took the ye off and changed the stem to ni, they're all the same all the way down on the other side. Okay? So you're going to have, if this was D plus L, you'd have kakwash, gachtush, kaqish, gachish, akwash, and gachdush. Okay? So that letter in the classifier is the only thing changing in that situation. Okay? So knowing all of this, how are we gonna predict this one? So that little flute that creature had, that's playing an instrument. That's an L classifier. Sha'ach. You're gonna sha'ach a guitar, a flute, an ukulele, a violin. So what are the things we need? So let's just focus on this first verb. What are the things we need to point out?
It has an object.
So we're going to get a. That's going to start with a.
It says it's an L classifier.
It's an L classifier, so the classifier should be sh all the way down. Although this one is probably going to be sh because it has to go plus D.
What does that mean, the 0? It's a 0. I thought it was a L classifier, so what's the 0?
It's an L classifier. It's 0 conjugation. That means we don't need K or ye in front of it. We just go straight to the verb. So that's everything. Those are the things we're looking for. Object, yes or no. What's the classifier? What's it going to be like? The stems should all be long and high. So then we just jump over to this, and we're looking for ga or qa to know if we need to put K or ye in front of it. That's all we're looking for in this case. So now, I'm gonna play.
So yeah, Yannicka.
Okay. So
talk a little bit more about the ga and ya, and
Okay.
that was all great. Keishísh.
Yes. So there are 4 conjugation types. 0 and na share a lot of things. Ga and qa are sometimes kind of common. For all the future verbs, the only thing we're looking for here is whether there's ga or qa. If it's ga, you must put k in front of the verb. That's why some of them have k in front of it for the futures. That's the reason. If it's qa, then you have to put ye. That's why you say tsu ikwasatin. If that was some different verb, you'd say tsu and just go straight to the verb. I could say tsu ikwasachan. I'll love you again. Oh wait, that probably means K. No, I don't think so. Okay, sorry. Oh, I gotta keep the chat open. Okay. So, I'm gonna play it.
I thought "ach" was to hear.
Ach is to hear, but ach is also to make a sound. So you say keinas ach, and that means it's making a noise. And if you say kuchte keinas ach, it's echoing back. And if you say, like, here's an interesting one. How do you folks translate this? Wasatua ach. What's that sound? Like, so dua ach just like for something to just make a sound.
I thought you froze up when you said that.
Did I?
You said, what's that sound? And then you didn't say it.
It's complicated. Let's just make it harder with technical difficulties.
Sachwach.
Yes, sachwaach is I heard a
that's
voice. Okay, but this one, the L, and so the L classifier is what makes it playing an instrument. You're making a sound. It's basically what it means. So how would I say, I am going to play it? Sounds about right, but I gotta hear it. Oh, what does the yay do? Hold on. There's no yay. Kakwasha'ach. Yeah, well. There better not be any yays in the other ones. Okay.
Not the right time.
We are going to play it. Yeah. Oh, why are there yays? What is going on? Yeah. Well. With this t right here, it's short, but if there's no vowel in the classifier, it's long. You are gonna play it.
Did you check the computer again for money?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I checked it again.
Yeah.
Why do I get the feeling they're gonna attack me?
Attack you.
For bill.
Oh, let me. Gee, yucky. Kakishaach or kakishaach. Okay? Kakisha.
Oh.
Kakwasha. Gachtusha. Y'all are gonna play it. An instrument.
Keishísh.
Keishísh. Yeah, away.
Get the yay out of there.
Yeah. Dangers of copying and pasting. Jeez. So Keishísh. Yeah, away. They are going to play it, singular they. Now, vowel in the classifier, you must go to guchla in this case. Guchla, guchsa, guchsha, guchda. All of those need to be guch. They all must be guch.
Guchlaach.
A guchlaach, yeah, away. Look at all you yays trying to sneak in there. Okay, the next one should be pretty easy. They, plural, are going to play it.
As a guchlaach.
Yeah, away. Yeah. Ishan. Put the hus back in there. Okay. It will be played.
What, I hear a screaming.
Dulyeix.
Yeah, away. Gachtul ach. Let me do this. Let's shortcut you. Okay. There be yays on the other side? Gee whiz. Okay. So here's the thing, right? These front parts, the prefix, will be exactly the same over here. Exactly the same. And if this were an S classifier, you'd have kakwasa, gachtusa, kakisa, gachisa, aguchsa, has aguchsa, and gachtus. And so it's pattern building, right? So in these patterns, there's complex stuff going on, and we're just finding those parts where we substitute. And there are, I'll show you, folks, some tables as well, where you can just look up these prefixes and you'll get them. So we're drilling them to learn how to put them together here, and then I'll show you the Crippen, the verb handbook, and then you could just sort of look them up pretty quick in there. So with that in mind, I think we're going to have to get rid of a bunch of yays again. So this one, object, same. Classifier, L, same. Every time. 0. Shouldn't have anything before the verb. Wanéiyi. Better straighten that out. I am going to get it dirty. Yeah, away. We are going to get it dirty.
It'd be just like the first person plural.
Yeah.
Gachtulecher.
Yeah, away. Right, so there's no we look over here, it's the exact same pattern over here. You are gonna get it dirty.
Keishísh.
Yeah, away.
Keishísh.
Y'all are gonna get it dirty. Yeah, away. Singular, they are going to get it dirty.
Aguchlache.
Yeah, wow. They, plural, are going to get it dirty.
Asaguchlache.
Yeah, wow. It will be gotten, it will get dirty. I don't know. Guess that's how we do that one. Yeah, away. Okay. There they are. All the L classifiers. And what's interesting is any L classifier will look like this, as long as it has a subject and an object. If there's ye, if there's ka or ga, then you gotta throw the ye or k in front of it. Like I tried to do for some reason.
What's that rule again for why there's no vowel in that one?
For the fourth person, all non-zero classifiers must go plus D. And then plus D minus I has no vowel.
I was trying to remember. I have the toughest time, like how it starts. But I know you said it's that first singular, plural, second singular. The way it, each one of them starts.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Like how can I just practice that? So when I look at a word, I can figure it out. Like you're saying, that's like the key to it, right?
Yeah, and sort of looking at these, and then just ignoring the classifier and the stem. Kakwa, gachtu, kakye, gachye, kakwa, or it could be akwa or aguch, depending on if there's a vowel in the classifier. And then gachtu. These two are pretty similar. Gachtu, gachtu. You're changing one letter. But then you put the classifier on after that, right? And so it's going to be all of those things combine to form the prefix. The prefix is object, thematic, subject, classifier, well, any conjugation stuff, subject, classifier. So it's going to be those 5 things. And those 5 things are they're going to just interact with each other in certain ways. But kakwa, that's I'm a gonna, right? Gachtu, we are gonna. Kakhe, you are gonna. Gachye, y'all are gonna. Aguch or akwa, they are gonna. Gachtu, people are going to.
I found a table in Hausenech that's on page 286 of the first version and 290 of the newer version. And it would be useful for me to take a couple of these themes and then use this table to try and, you know, because this is my reference.
Yeah.
So that's good. And then it's like, then the stuff that comes after it is like, uh-oh, trigonometry.
Yeah, so it's like sort of so here's the table, so you could use this, and then you've got the prefix already. So this is telling you what the classifier is. Is it 0, S, L, or SH? And then here's the D. So with the D, then they change a little bit, right? Because you got da and then s, sh. So that and then what you do is you add the stem in the long high version, and then you've got it, right? So that, yeah, and then it's sort of, everybody's going to learn differently. Some people want to know all the little parts that are in there, and that helps them to sort of see it. But like Tlingit grammar, it's like you turn these knobs and you got a combination. Ga, ka. You gotta have those three things to put it into the future. But ga, ka are gonna interact with objects and subjects, and so they tend to get pretty long. But that's what's going on with all of these.
It's just like if I'm trying to write a story or a conversation or something like that, I'll find the verb I want in the Keishísh dictionary or something, and I'll have a theme. And then I can use some of this stuff if she hasn't put it in there, although she has put a lot in there. But it's like I need to figure out the second person L classifier. So I can use these tables. I can also use the ones on the next page, depending on what's in that little verb theme.
Mm-hmm.
And those kind of exercises are, it's not necessarily how I learn, but it is how I learn. I may not learn to be able to say it, but I will learn how to use these resources to make language.
Okay. Yeah, well. And then Zeosh has a verbal structure handbook, and he's got these same tables. So he's got them organized a little differently, but basically first person, first plural, second person, second plural, fourth person, third person, and then it repeats for if there's a thematic prefix. But then he shows you, here's the 0, any classifier with no vowel, any classifier with a vowel. The vowel must be a or nothing for the future. Those are your only options. You can only have the I for really perfective and attributive. Those are the most common for that. Or imperfective states, I guess. So then if you were looking this up, and so you're looking for, oh, well, I know it's a L classifier with ch. So then you look up here, gach tu sha. So he puts a capital C to say it's a consonant. You're changing that consonant. And that's what one of the things the classifier does. It's either 0 or S. So the consonant will be S, sa. So you got kakwasa, or you can have L, kakwasha, or SH, kakwasha. And so yeah, that's it. These tables are great. And so for some people, like they don't want to know all the parts that are in there. Just like show me what the thing is. Kakwa, I'm gonna. Okay, now I know that.
Would help, I think, for me, like if we were talking about making videos, like I'm gonna get dirty, like a video of someone looking at the screen getting dirty, and then two-person singular. If it was broken down like that, towards every different action, so then we could see like something happening to go with it. I think that would help me remember more than just trying to remember it. Because when I see a word, I'm like, I know what that is, and I can't think of it.
Right.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
Yakwatlak, yakwatlak. Okay. Well, let's try another one. What do we need to know? What do we need to know about them?
Got the D+.
No object.
No object, right? So and we're just going kind of left to right. No object, so we're going to go straight to kukwa and huskukwa. Okay. D plus L classifier should be just the letter L all the way down. And then we jump right to the conjugation. So no yay or no K. Let's hope I didn't put it in there this time. So if you get this one right, then you could rest. You could take a break. Unless we make it to the next one.
Shasa.
Kakosh sa. Yeah, away. I'm going to rest. Okay? We're going to rest. Gachtush sa, away. No vowel, make it long. Okay? You're going to rest.
Kagish sa.
Away. Kakish sa.
Kagish sa.
Okay? Y'all are going to rest.
Keishísh.
Gachish sa, right? And this one always stays short. Gachish sa. So this one is gachye every time. Every time. Singular, they are going to rest.
Aguksa.
Kakwash sa. Kakwash sa. So just put a hus in front of it.
Sa.
Hus kakwash sa. Awa. Now this one, change to duh, and you've got it. Awa. Gachtil sa. So because the classifier is the same, the prefix will be the same. We're going to add sh in front of it because we're doing this. We're going to keep my, and so the command form of this is usually quiet down or shut up, depending on how you're, it could be either of those, right? Shilkat is the way we might have heard this one, but this is like, I'm going to stay quiet. I'm just going to stay quiet. So we're going to get the sh in front of it, but we should expect shkakwash, and then this root. I'm going to stay quiet.
Squasha. Quack.
Shkakwashkat. We're going to keep quiet. Shkachtushkat. You're going to keep quiet.
Skiskat.
Oops, I forgot the sh. Shkakishkat. Y'all are going to keep quiet. Shkakishkat. Singular, they are going to keep quiet. Shkakwashkat. Plural, they are going to keep quiet.
Hashasawe.
Hus shkakwashkat. So the hus is outside of both the sh and the whoosh. Hus shkakwashkat. Getting a little long, adding the sh on there. People are going to keep quiet. Yeah, Keishísh. That's the L classifiers. We got 2 more left, and then we're going to show what happens when we put the thematic prefix on there, which is going to make the verb even longer. But you'll see the patterns are very much the same.
Renee,
Ah,
back to that one. So will it always happen that in order to get fourth person, you take the first person plural and you just change the something to a D?
yeah, the
You put a
T
D in-
changes. Yep, you just change the T to a D, but the vowel needs to stay short. So the only other difference
Okay.
is t will change to tu if there's no vowel in the classifier. But d should always be short. I know if you look it up in the verb dictionary, they'll write it as do quite a bit, like maybe every time actually. But they wrote a lot of things long that should be short.
Where'd all the D's go?
So you would have in the perfective, these would be dl. So when we look at the plus D, right? So let's see. Let me jump way up here. Hold on. So we look at our classifiers, right? All the plus D's, you've got d, z, gl, j. So that D sound is there. But when they're minus I, when there's no I activated, you have da, s, sh. That's just the form of those classifiers. But and it's something that we do see and hear, but when we start really drilling the future, we have to kind of focus on that because the futures cannot be plus I. So they can only be 0, da, sa, s, sha, and sha, sh. Those are your only options for the classifier in the future. Has to be one of those. But yeah, a lot of us are used to seeing dl or z. Okay, we did the dirtying. We did the quiet down. Okay, this is the last set. And then we'll move on to putting a thematic prefix on there. So there'll be something in between the object and the subject. Okay. So for these ones, I'll just walk you through. This one has an object, so we should expect a in front of the third person. And then this one, it's got sha, so this should be aguchsha and hus aguchsha. Gook, and this one is ga, so we will have k in front of it. This one has no object, so you're just going to get, here you're going to get kakwash, so there's no in front of it, just kakwash. And then there's na, so there's not going to be anything in front of the verb. So I am going to know how to do it. I'm going to master it. Kekwashkuk. Oh, I didn't put it on there. Look at me. Bummy teacher. Kekwashkuk. Yeah, well. I'm guessing there's none of them on there. We are going to know how to do it.
Oh boy.
Keikach tushakuk.
Yeah, well. Kekachtushakuk. You are going to know how to do it. Fact.
Ke kakishaguk.
Yeah, away. Keishísh. Y'all are gonna know how to do it.
Keishísh.
Yeah, away. Singular, they are gonna know how to do it. There is an object. There's a vowel in the classifier. So the middle part must be guch.
Ke kuchaguk.
K a guch shaguk. What am I doing? Oh, I see. I haven't gotten to this part. We've never made it this far. Nobody has. At least nobody I've taught. Wow. De shukaya yehayati ya yidat gahadat kisani koa ke hasakushakukaya ade yukhautukle atkiya yewa hayukatangi achtuasuku yisaku Shiltideen aya yiqinach aya achtuasuku yakanadeni hayukatangi Gunchi shawi Johan Gata atate jekone akatsu kagachtu ak. Ge away yagachtu tlach te kat Johan. Yaha yukatangi. A days yukal atkin ye awe hachako kaku ye awe aktuasaku uhan su. Ke gachtu shakuk. Ye awe kagachtu ak. Yisaku tlach asa aya yata aya nachawe jiwane. Hashukaka away Johan. Ya hastu yachaya kagachtu ak cha kaya yegachtu sani. Di awe achtu asagu. Achawe kagachtu ak. And Keishísh. Let's see. Looking ahead. I think I see.
Keishísh.
Audagon. Eat woo.
We have a question. If
Ah.
people can think of two things, Dasa ye da ine yiskak manchas we at yatki Tlingit yukatangi islatu. If you can think of two things you can do to teach Tlingit language to young people or kids, or anybody at all, but what are some things you can do to help other people learn Tlingit? And Kune, is that, I was thinking these were on Wednesday, but are they on Mondays or?
Monday and Wednesday.
Oh, are we this Wednesday then? Okay.
Oh, wait, we're doing them.
I thought I signed up for the 17th.
I thought we were the 22nd or something.
Yeah, you guys.
Okay, we'll go on Wednesday anyways.
Okay.
I thought we're not showing up this Wednesday.
We're not?
Or did you say that for the other class? Oh God,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, on the spreadsheet, Audigan Kachiwu are on the 22nd.
Spreadsheet.
Yeah, spreadsheet. Stick to
We'll
the
be here.
spreadsheet.
I just threw Christine right
I put it in the planner already. It's too late. Spreadsheet.
Deep water.
We'll do it a week tomorrow. I think that's when we're supposed to do it. Or a week Wednesday.
Secret's out. I don't know what I'm doing.
Week 22.
Neither do I.
Take spring break seriously.
How do we get on a spreadsheet?
Oh, here, let me put the link in the chat.
And if you look at the class website, Advanced Tlingit, there's a link in the March 1st class. So you can find it later if you can't get it out of chat.
Okay. Ah, Keishísh for putting up with me. How fun.
No, I would really like to be able to use and see in live action using these tables with the verb theme. I mean, and to just, very methodically say, okay, I see this, it relates to this or this or this. And and then all of a sudden you were talking about K, and it was like, oh, that's where the K clue is, way at the top. So,
Yeah.
it's that's how I would like to. It's like I'm saying, it's not how I learn it per se, because I'm not being able to actually internalize it all. But if I know how to put it together in the future, it will help me. Keishísh.
Okay. 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 Well, I'll try and find some things for us to look at, and then I got a couple of things that I'll investigate as well, like what is it used for? That was really interesting when you asked that shaniqit, because I've got some ideas on how to say it, but I want to look around and bounce it off a couple other folks. So yeah, you could say something like dulyeix. Why did they make it? But I'll check. I bet you it's in that Quk story. So on Wednesday, what we'll do is we'll do a little bit more of this, and we'll also start looking at the Yeich Katukak story. And yeah, there's some pretty rough, as far as like there's some violence in that story. So yeah, Keishísh kachtzin for just jumping in the deep water when I said jump in.
Jeez.
Didn't even give you any prep time or anything, but you did great. That was wonderful. Good job.
Keishísh.
Okay. Yevushkach Tustin Keishísh.
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 Keishísh.